Among the many impressive things your games console or PC can do is know what day it is. I know it doesn't sound super impressive, but believe me, there are a lot of people who struggle with it.
Sorry I'm late, I thought it was Saturday.
See? But knowing what the date is isn't just handy for turning up to work on time. If you're a video game, it also lets you add in seasonal greetings, surprises, and Easter eggs that only trigger on certain days of the year. Here are 7 of our favourite examples of just that. Enjoy, and beware minor spoilers ahead for the following games. How can you think it was Saturday? It's not even, I mean, it's clearly the week.
Yeah, but you know when you wake up in your bed and it's really comfy and it just feels like a Saturday?
I don't know that. Come to work on time. It's not difficult.
Maybe I just did so much work that it felt like a Saturday because I did so much work.
What? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, spoiler crawl's over.
While the pay is probably good, there aren't many upsides to being part of the private military outfit Diamond Dogs in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. For a start, you have to live on an oil rig with a bunch of weirdos, then they make you change your name into something dumb like Hungry Hippo or Happy Rhinoceros or Perturbed Lemur. And don't even get me started on the health and safety situation around here. Does Diamond Dogs have an HR department? No, of course not. I mean, where would you put it? We need all this space for the zoo. One thing they do get right in terms of employee appreciation, however, is birthdays. At the start of Metal Gear Solid 5, you're asked to enter your birthday for reasons that are not entirely clear at the time. But then, this is a Metal Gear game. Nothing is entirely clear at any time.
When were you born? Can you recall?
Boot the game up on your birthday, however, and you'll be greeted with this scene, where the staff of Mother Base wish you a happy birthday, presumably because they're terrified you'll throw them in the sea again if they don't. There's cake, cigars, and carefully non-copyright infringing birthday songs.
Happy birthday, congratulations. Happy birthday with salutations.
You know Happy Birthday's public domain now, guys. You can go nuts. I've got an idea for a present for next year, though. A lighter. The current solution seems dangerous. I'm going to have to report this to HR. That's right, Happy Rhinoceros. He's going to be furious.
Ah, early September. Kids headed back to school, leaves starting to turn, and best of all, Labor Day.
It's tough being a Batman villain, mainly because you're always being punched by Batman. But it's not just that. You've also got to come up with a unique identity and then theme your crimes around that identity. Also, because Batman has been going for 80 years at this point, all the good themes have been taken.
You will address What? How did you solve tonight's very first riddle?
See? Dreadful. That's presumably how we got Calendar Man, the alter ego of Julian Gregory Day, a supervillain with an obsession with dates, who themes his crimes around various public holidays. I'm not saying that the comic book writers took a look at the first thing on their desk and then made a character based on that and then went golfing, but I'm not saying that. Calendar Man makes an appearance in Batman Arkham City, where you'll find him locked up in a holding cell in the basement of the Gotham courthouse, and you can drop by and see him if you ever forget how many days there are in the month.
30 days have September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except for February alone, which has 28.
If you visit him on specific public holidays, however, you'll get a different story about the various charming and quirky date-themed crimes he committed, such as the time he attacked a New Year's party with a flamethrower.
I admit, stepping into a crowded ballroom with a flamethrower was a bit dramatic. But what better way to melt the ice at a party?
And the feel-good festive tale of him strangling a street corner Santa, then killing a judge with a string of Christmas lights.
I call that murder my Christmas special.
Calendar Man's horrible holiday stories include St. Patrick's Day, April Fool's Day, and the obscure feast day of St. Roch, because he is a massive holiday hipster. If you listen to all 12 of his tales, Calendar Man will finally escape his cell, leaving behind only a dead Two-Face henchman and lingering regret that now we'll never find out what he did on September 19th, International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Probably killed someone while talking like a pirate. Still better than the Riddler.
Arcade fighting game Art of Fighting 3 was the third in the beloved SNK series, and featured such advances in fighting game technology as motion captured animation, and such advances in human name technology as this guy called Rody Burtz. Amazing. In addition to real names that a human being would definitely have, Art of Fighting characters also had a birthday unique to them. Rody, for example, was born on July 24th, my sweet summer child, while Robert Garcia was born on December the 25th. Presumably, getting joint birthday and Christmas presents his whole life is the reason he's so angry. If you happened to play Art of Fighting 3 on a particular character's birthday, however, something interesting would happen. As a special treat for the character on their special day, that character and that character only would be powered up, meaning their attacks would do more damage. They would also spend their birthday with a full rage gauge. Like me on my birthday, when my parents bought me Malibu Barbie instead of the clearly superior Ballerina Barbie. This meant they could pull off their devastating instant KO super death blows at any time. Which would probably put a damper on the birthday party, to be honest. And the holidays as well, if you wanted to take advantage of this date-specific power-up with Robert Garcia, the game's most popular character, because then you'd have to break into a closed arcade on Christmas Day. Still, what else am I going to do? Play with a regularly powered character who's been meticulously balanced to provide me with a fair and rewarding challenge? Please. Anyone got a crowbar?
NetHack is a fascinating game, sometimes described as one of the best games ever, despite often looking like a late 90s GameFAQs walkthrough. It's a D&D style roguelike dungeon crawler that tasks you with retrieving an amulet from a randomly generated dungeon. That brief description doesn't go very far towards conveying the sheer depth and complexity of the game, which, I remind you again, looks a lot like what you'd see if you woke up suddenly after falling asleep on your keyboard. One such example of NetHack's complexity is the way in which it factors in real-world conditions when you're playing it. Things can be a lot more difficult when playing at night, and phases of the moon play a role in the game. Some enemy attacks are more deadly during a new moon, and your luck increases by 1 during a full moon. Play the game on Friday the 13th, however, and you'll find that your luck stat decreases by 1 point, giving you a negative modifier to a bunch of different things in the game, including combat, setting off traps, and even opening doors. Your only option if you want to avoid an unlucky session is to just sit Friday out and come back the next day. Unless Friday the 13th also happens to be a full moon, in which case the +1 and -1 to luck will cancel each other out. Alright, let's see when that's next happening. September 13th, 2019. I'm busy that day. Okay, June 13th, 2025 it is. It's cool, I can wait.
I'm sorry, Kirk, but this is the right place for you.
I only wanted to help people, and I've killed the one thing I ever loved.
While Calendar Man is obsessed with ruining as many holidays as possible with his horrible stories, Man-Bat is out to ruin one holiday in particular, Halloween. For those unfamiliar with Man-Bat, he is the alter ego of Dr. Kirk Langstrom, a scientist who, with the typical restraint and scientific rigour of a Batman character, attempted to cure his deafness by splicing his DNA with that of a vampire bat.
So, what we've done is merge the DNA of Desmodus rotundus, the vampire bat, into the human chain. This breakthrough will prevent and cure deafness in all humanity.
Amazingly, this didn't give him the super hearing of a vampire bat, but rather turned him into a massive gross human bat hybrid, who then killed his wife and went on a rampage around the city.
Honey, are you okay? Oh my God!
Kirk. It's pretty simple. Batman, Man-Bat. Eventually, Batman is able to find and cure Man-Bat before locking him up in the GCPD headquarters for 1 count of murder, 1 count of being a bat, and you have to assume several counts of gimmick infringement.
Just when I think I've seen it all. He gonna be okay.
Physically, yes.
However, once you've captured Man-Bat, if you find yourself playing on October 31st, you might notice he's not as captured as you initially thought. Heading back to the GCPD to politely ask them what the hell kind of prison they're running here reveals that Langstrom did indeed bust his way out of his cell.
Cash got off a couple rounds, but it was too quick. No way we're gonna stop that thing. Happy Halloween, huh?
Also, no one seems overly concerned.
When I get home, I'm making salad.
Yes, that'll help. Man, this explains so much about policing in Gotham.
Of course, it's all very well and good people singing you birthday songs, but we all know what the real point of birthdays is. Presents. It's something the Gran Turismo franchise understands as well, which is why many games in the series give you a present if you log in on your birthday. I mean, I appreciate the thought, Gran Turismo, but you might want to put a bit more effort into your choice of gift next time. It's always a car. Ballerina Barbie. That said, it is a car from your birth year, which is great if, like us, you were born in the 80s and get a bunch of sweet turbocharged 80s sports wedges that look like they should be drifting sideways through a pile of boxes as you chase after some coke dealers. Less so if you're 90 years old and have to tootle around in a vintage rust bucket made out of curtain rods and powdered egg. Yet another way video games discriminate against the elderly. More like not for Gran Turismo.
What are you saying? Tell me a joke. No.
After the near-total destruction of their society, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the people in Fallout 4 are going to have trouble summoning up the holiday spirit. No, that's a ghoul. Big difference. All the water is radioactive, you're constantly under attack by super mutants, and the most cosmopolitan city you can spend time in is a shantytown built around the crumbling ruins of a baseball stadium. Also, if anything white starts falling from the sky, that's just more radioactive ash. I wouldn't try and catch it on your tongue. But you'd be surprised at the resilience of holiday cheer and the enduring desire of people to drape colourful lights over things come Christmas time. You can check the exact in-game date in Fallout 4 on your Pip-Boy, and once it reaches the 25th of December, Diamond City gets all Christmassy for one in-game day only.
Don't let the stress of life kill you. Relax with some cans.
There are strings of coloured lights and beautifully decorated trees, although you have to wonder where these lush evergreens came from in a radioactive wasteland that is noticeably devoid of greenery. I mean, apart from the super mutants. Have you ever tried decorating one of those? Wouldn't recommend it. Why not amp up the festiveness by visiting people's houses and leaving them presents, although you may prefer toys and clothes instead of high explosives. Come on guys, where's your holiday spirit? Oh, right.
Thanks for watching this video about Easter eggs that you can only see in video games one day of the year. And an Easter egg in this video you can only see on one day of the year is these two videos here. They're not here if you watch it any other day. Don't check on that, but they're not. So this up here is from us. It's about embarrassing achievements you don't want on a gamer card. And down here is a video from Outside Extra, which is about the dumb worries we all get when playing video games. See if you have any of them yourself. Check it out. Don't come back and check that they're not here though, because not that they won't.
Quick, end the video.
Sorry, it's over.